what do you like when you say Web3? What type of images come up to your mind, right?
It's equality and fairness. Right now, I do not like how so many corporations have my information, and I think humans, we are just basically animals, and we live off of behavior.
Hello, Enim, and hi everyone. My name is Lam. I'm the host of Colors of Web3 and Entrepreneurship. Today, I have a little special mini episode here with my guest, Enim. Enim, can you tell us a brief introduction about yourself?
Hi, my name is Enim. I'm an American YouTuber living in Japan for almost 9 years now. I make videos interacting with Japanese people and doing interviews as well.
Nice. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually, doing interview with people. So what I do with my podcast usually is I just talk to my guests very casually in a very in-depth, like Web3 topics. But today, actually, I know that you are somewhat relatively new to the Web3 domain. So I would like to ask you a couple of very simple questions about your experience and your opinions and your attitude toward Web3 in general. Yeah. So first, can you tell me how did you learn about, how did you get into Web3 in the first place?
So it all started with crypto, of course. Bitcoin and Ethereum. I started investing. So I came in the investor space, sorry. But
Good.
yeah, in 2019. And of course, when I started researching more projects, and I'm just like, oh wow, this just makes perfect sense. Oh wait, this is fair for everyone. Oh wait, like it just made sense. And so it all started from Bitcoin and learning about blockchain, and then realizing Ethereum, then smart contracts. That's basically it. Web3, like if you enter through the crypto route, everything is just like it just pops up, right? So yeah, I learned about Web3. Maybe I started maybe like early last year, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you first began, like I guess, investing into Web3 and learning more about Web3, what did you find so difficult to understand, difficult to use about your Web3 experience journey in general?
I think for me, it was difficult to understand what is Web3. And I think the best way to understand it is to first know what Web1 is, Web2. And I think that's how many people start learning. Just like if you just explain what Web3 is, people are just like, wait, what? But yeah, for me, like after I understood just like, oh, Web1 is like just HTML pages. Web2 is just like what we have now. Yeah, so I think just hearing Web3 and then like people trying to explain it to me, so many people tried to explain it to me, and I just couldn't get it until I realized what it was not. So that was probably the most difficult, is trying to understand what it is for what it is. I think the easiest way is to understand what it is not. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I actually like to have a follow up on that. So, what is your personal definition of Web3 now? What do you like when you say Web3? What type of images come up to your mind, right?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. Really good question. So for me, it's equality and fairness. Right now, I do not like how so many corporations have my information, and I think humans, we are just basically animals, and we live off of behavior and learned behavior. So whether corporations are aware of it or not, I don't think any of us, corporations or individuals, realize how like this media, everything is really affecting us. um I tell people, not so directly, but I pretty much learned everything I needed to learn about humans by going to a dog training lesson. Because humans are basically the same. Like if you do like positive reinforcement and you reward behavior that you like, then yeah, humans keep doing it, animals keep doing it. So for me, when I hear Web3, I think it's a system, a way that no corporation is utilizing my information, my spending habits, my liking habits, to keep enforcing me to do behaviors that may not be in my best interest. So that to me is Web3, and this is why I believe so strongly in it.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a really good understanding of it too. And yeah, that you said. And I think that's one of the solution that Web3 is empowered to solve, right? The issue of privacy and user being able to take back the control of their own private data, and so they can do and share what they want to, instead of just in now like Facebook and Google just take everything about you. And they actually, I think Facebook, quite one scary thing is that Facebook, Google probably know more about me than my family know more about myself, right? Which is quite crazy, I think, and also scary in a way too, right? So then for Web Web3 in general, for Web3 journey for people who may not be so technical like yourself, then how what can the people and companies, the builders in Web3 and also the companies in Web3, what can we do to make the experience more easier for you to transition and use Web3?
You have really good questions, like really good questions. Actually, that's one thing that I think about sometimes, especially going to the Web3 conference recently, because I consider myself as like the typical a little bit over the typical person, but for me, again, when I realize what it is not, it's easier for me to understand what it is. And I think for like Web3 builders, if you keep in mind, like, I think we have to make the problem look sexy, basically. So right now, if you tell people just like Google has all of your information, okay, so it helps me make purchases. Like, but yeah, they don't understand why it's such an issue. So I think if we can make the problem of our security more like sexier, I don't have the answers of how, but I think that will help people understand Web3 better. And I think when Web3 developers are making their companies, they should keep this in mind, just like for the everyday user. Yeah, just like how to enlarge the problem, not make it worse, but like make it more aware so people realize why the solution is so necessary.
I see. So sounds like a part of it is actually about the education, right? About making people aware of the problem. Because I think even now, most people probably, they don't even realize they have the issue of their privacy being taken away by, Google and Facebook, right? Interesting. So then for when it comes to Web3 tools and other products or apps, what are like your top 5 or 3 or 5 apps that you use the most in your Web3 journey?
Oh, actually, I'm still trying to find. So, as a YouTuber, I do use Odyssey and Library, but I use it connected to YouTube. So when I upload to YouTube, it automatically uploads to Odyssey as well.
Nice.
That's mainly it. So I'm still trying to utilize more websites and more like tools that can help me in my everyday life. But also with my channel, my platform, I want to share this information to my audience. But the keywords, the buzzwords, Web3, NFTs, like blockchain, people get turned off. So because I believe so strongly in this space, I'm trying to like show like my version of making the solution sexier without people getting turned off by the keywords.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a big problem. To be honest, the other day I was recording one of my guests, Melanie Christel. That's actually episode. I'm gonna link it up here for people who may want to see it. And she actually, one of the main things she told me about, like how to make it more easier for you to use. Like we as the people who are in Web3 need to stop using very complicated and complex words, right? Because if you say words like NFT, for me, it's easy for me to understand because I've been doing Web3 for like years now. But for my grandma or my mom, right, they probably have no idea like what the heck is an NFT. But if I say like digital art, it'd be very easy for them to understand, right? Because they actually have an idea what an art is and what a digital is, so they combine that. So I think, in the Web3 community as a whole, and also myself, I do think that we need to simplify the language and make it more accessible for people in Web2 or people in general also. So yeah, thank you for that idea. Awesome. So then for your communities, I'm actually a little bit curious now. What are your communities interested in? And I'm trying to see if there's some technology or solution the Web3 can bring to your community.
So my community is mainly interested in travel, Japan, and learning Japanese. The majority of my audience, they are Americans.
Okay.
So they have a tendency to look at Japan and the world through an American lens, which especially right now is through race and through gender topics. Yeah, but as an American living outside of the US now for like maybe like 9-10 years. So before Japan, I lived in Peru. I'm trying to share my different ideology as an American, but as someone who doesn't see the world through those lenses anymore. So yeah, I don't know what tools I can use for that.
Yeah, I actually have some ideas. I think for travel, if people like to collect, let's say, arts or things about certain places, I'm sure, well, even now, there are certain collection or certain groups that are more oriented about like travel and who like to meet up, right? all over the world. So if they join one of those Web3 community, I think Ramen DAO is probably one of them. They can probably get to just meet up, have these meet up like all over the world actually with people who own the same Ramen DAO. I think they usually have like a token on NFT, which is like a digital art, right? Which is like token gate, allowing them to people to actually join the meeting. So that I guess would be one. I guess you can create some token like that, right? Some special. You can think of it like a special membership card, right? So people can actually use it to access the events. That would be one thing that I think Web3 technology can help. And the other one, you said your community like to learn Japanese. Personally, I'm actually building my own habit forming decentralized app at the moment. What it does is it utilizes Web3 technology to solve the perennial problem of habit forming. You know, people all like procrastinate and people have trouble forming their own habits. So how this app will work is that you would deposit some certain crypto or money in there, and then you would pledge to, let's say you would write your goal, hey, I want to learn Japanese, I want to get to this level in the next 1 month, and every day, let's say if you deposit $30, right? So every day you do charge you $1 if you don't actually accomplish the goal, right? But if you accomplish the goal you set out on that day, maybe learn Japanese in 30 minutes, you get back the money. And in the end of the month, you also are eligible for a drawing of prizes, whether it's an special art collection, some special other prizes, or even the crypto, so extra crypto you can earn. So that will be one solution. I'm actually building it out for myself. Hopefully, I'll release it later on this year. So I don't know. Do you think those things that would be helpful for your community?
Yeah, definitely. Like seriously, I would like to try myself though.
Awesome. Yeah, and for sure, for me, I think that the UI UX in Web3 right now is still quite bad, like in my opinion, for laymen, yeah, for people who are not like proficient in technology. So when I build this app, I want to actually have the app where it's so simple that the people who know how to use email and have a Gmail login or Twitter can be able to use. So I think that's like the bar. I want to set it so low that people can be able to use it, and who have a credit card or something, so we can actually have them buy the crypto. So that's about it, I think. So I will make it as easy as possible for people to onboard and use the app, and yeah, so that's my hope. But yeah, so I'm building this year. Hopefully, I will release an MVP, which is like the minimum viable product, simple version of it, in later on this year. So I will share that with your community.
Thank you.
And just two more final questions here. It sounds like you've been doing YouTube for quite a long time. Do you have any advice for aspiring YouTubers or people creators who are beginning the YouTube journey?
What I'm about to say, it's going to sound very simple, and everyone's going to think just like, oh yeah, I can definitely do this, but start. Start. Yeah, everyone says like, oh, it's first I have to make an outline, or first I have to like get the right camera equipment. First, I know people that have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers that make videos with their phones, that edit with their phone or use iMovie. Just start.
That is true. I think even sometimes, yeah, just taking the first step is actually quite a big hurdle for a lot of people to overcome. So I completely agree. I mean, when I began my own channel, right, I just have to begin. I didn't even know where to begin. I think first step I did was I just Google how to begin your own podcast, right? And then you come to one thing, one to another, and then yeah, suddenly, and now here I am. I've already published like 6 episodes, and I have already like 10 more lined up already. So yeah, that's will be more and more in the future. And yeah, where can people follow you or find you?
Enim's Life in Japan, YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, and Enim's Life in Japan.
Awesome. Thank you. I will make sure to put that in the show notes so people can actually see it. Thank you so much for your time today, Enim. It's been really fun talking to you. Yeah, awesome. And we are back to my studio. Did you guys enjoy the special mini episode with Enim, an American YouTuber based in Japan? If you did, please give a like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. For the next episode, we'll be coming back to our Web3 guest. We meet Mr. Theo Masdo, who is a CTO of WACME Studio, a Web3 development agency based in France. It is a very intellectually stimulating conversation, and you don't want to miss it. Once again, thank you for listening, and see you next time.